All right, welcome race fans once again to Virtual Racing Network. Tonight we are here with the RACECORE Xfinity Series here presented by Global Building Contractors. And it looks like we got about 27 drivers here. It looks like one of them, Austin Edstrom, lost connection earlier. Not sure if he has made his way back in, but currently 26 drivers are accounted for. We'll see if Austin does make it in here shortly, as I do not see him here at the moment. That being said, it's time to get to all of our sponsors here for tonight's race. Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. They are a general sponsor here for tonight's race. They are the presenting sponsor for the Truck Series coming up on Tuesday night. iRacing Drivers World. They are also a general sponsor here for tonight's race, so head on over to iRacing Drivers World on Facebook. Make sure you like the page, join it, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, anything like that, pictures, videos, you can post them on iRacing Drivers World. And, of course, Global Building Contractors, your presenting sponsor here for the RACECORE Xfinity Series on Sunday night. So make sure you head on over there to their Facebook or website, give them a shout-out, and let them know you heard about it here on Virtual Racing Network. And on the broadcast side of things, we have a lot of sponsors we want to thank, starting, of course, as always, with Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. Gentlemen out there, if you have a beard, you need to take care of it, and there is only one good way to do that, and that is with some Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, all natural and organic products. Lots of different scents to pick from, so head on over to wallsbeardco.com and pick some up. StemSpeedShop.com. We'll get it out there eventually. If you are an iRacer, you need to go over there. The one-stop shop for button boxes and e-brakes for those rallycross racers. So again, head on over to StemSpeedShop.com to pick up one or both of those items today. Northwest Racing Series. They are the official one-to-go sponsor. And again, as we keep talking about, they are getting closer and closer to getting that schedule out. And we will have it posted as soon as we get it. So stay tuned for the official schedule release there. We will be sharing it everywhere on social media, getting it out there on the YouTube page as well. So stay tuned for that. And we'll have some great racing coming back here soon from them. Ohio IndyCar League. If you're looking to get into some IndyCar racing, where better to go than Ohio IndyCar League? You can get all the latest information at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, your sim race broadcast graphic source. If you are looking to get into broadcasting or just need some overlays for iRacing streams, head on over to ibog.co and get a hold of Jason Allison. Here momentarily, we will have a pre-race interview that is presented by Randy's Wraps. We'll be pulling a random driver up here to talk to him. Again, that pre-race interview is presented by Randy's Wraps. If you're looking for a really nice paint job for a really good price, make sure you go check him out on Facebook. Just look up Randy's Wraps. As always, that being said, it is time to introduce our second chair here for tonight's race. And that is, as we refer to him now, the champion. That is Jeff Stabnell. So, Jeff, welcome to the booth once again tonight.
All right, Charles. I got to pay him $5 every time he refers to me as that. How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here at RACECORE. Always love calling these guys. Just fantastic league. We got the Big Four here. We got Kansas. We got nighttime racing. These guys are running the wall. I'm looking forward to a fantastic race tonight.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to a really good race myself. We'll see here. Do we have any thoughts here we might want to pull up here for our pre-race interview? I know last week we talked to the 21. It was actually, I believe, the 45 here tonight of Brian Jones. Gotta find somebody. You got anybody in mind you want to talk to?
Well, I like to talk to them all. But a good question there. Who haven't we pulled up here in a while?
Let's see.
How about Brian Bizzle or Brandon Dorsett? Have we had either one of them up here recently?
I do not believe we have. Let's see. If you want to pull one of those up, we'll talk to one of them real quick.
All right.
All right, well, he goes and talks to them here and grabs one of them up and see if one of them are there. Wait to make sure they are at their communication device. So there for a minute first. We want to go ahead and let you know how tonight's race is going to go. We have 100 laps for tonight's race. It looks like we do have Brian Bizzle, the number 15, with us. So, Brian, welcome to the booth. And looks like we got double. We got Brandon Dorsett here as well. So welcome both of you to the booth. And we'll start with Brian as we introduce him first. What are your thoughts on this track? Favorite, not favorite? And what do you expect for yourself here tonight?
It's normally one of my favorites, but practice is showing otherwise.
Well,
and top 10 would be great.
Well, there you have it from Brian. And Brandon, we'll hand it over to you.
I'm really struggling on the speed charts, but like Bryce said, we usually run pretty decent over here, so we're looking to get inside the top 10 some way, somehow.
Well, we'll definitely be looking for that. And as far as the race itself goes, you've been out there practicing. We haven't paid too close attention to practice here as far as on track, but we have been watching the times a little bit. What are you expecting as far as the race? Should we expect to see a few cautions here? Or based on the track temperature here and stuff, you think we'll have a good green flag runs? Oh, sorry, we'll hand it over to Brian first.
Well, I think the track temperature is going to cause a lot of cautions because the grip level's going to be so high. Everybody's been running so close together. And that's what I think about it.
All right, and Brendan?
Yeah, we're going to have to give a lot of give and take out here tonight. If not, we're going to have a high lap number of yellow flags. But guys can get that worked out. Give a lot of give and take. It should put on a decent show.
Well, we'll definitely hope to see a good show here. We look to see a good finish for both of you. Hopefully we'll see you in the booth here a little bit later tonight. And before we let you go, Jeff, any final questions for him?
Yeah, I just have a follow-up question for you guys there on kind of based on Charles there a little bit. We got a real cool track here tonight, so obviously higher grip levels than we're probably used to on this track. Typically with the lower banking on the lower line, we can run a couple fast laps down there, and then we got to start working up. But with this extra grip here tonight, are we going to see some more people running on that low line and middle line a little bit longer into the runs?
Jeff, I don't think so. I think the high line is going to be the line to take tonight. Once you get it under the bottom line stuck underneath somebody, tires don't last but a few laps.
Yeah, right. I'll second that. We've had a few party practice runs there, and once everybody kind of got up to speed, everybody was fighting to get to the top line, go single file. So I don't really see a whole lot of too wide racing except on some restarts.
All right. Well, we know you guys got a driver's meeting going on, so we appreciate you coming up here and chatting with us. I'm sure you guys got some shout outs. So, Brandon, if you want to go first, the microphone's yours.
Yeah, we just want to thank our teammates over at Cummins Motorsports. Thank you guys up in the booth and the admins over here in the RACECORE group. They pretty awesome group to run with.
All right, Brian, you got anybody you want to thank? Any shout out you want to give there?
He pretty much did it all for us.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll get you back down to your crew. Back to you, Charles.
All right. Well, while they're getting there in their driver's meeting, we want to go over the race stuff here for tonight, as we'll quickly pull up our VRN race analyst here. 9 miles per hour wind out of the northwest, so we've seen upwards of 9, 10, 11 mile per hour winds in some of these later races, as there's 10 miles, so the wind is going to pick up here tonight, looks like, so we'll see if that plays any factor into it. But only a 68 degree track, 68 air as the wind is now 12 miles per hour, 100 laps, 150 miles here tonight, as now the wind is up to 13 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's pretty cool out here tonight. We've got the temperature down here a little bit. We've got a cooler track. We should have a lot of grip here, as you heard was the kind of the topic of the pre-race show. They were talking about possibly so much grip going on that we might see a few more cautions. Wondering what it's going to do, bringing the other lines into play. There's I think grip's going to be the story tonight. How much faster are we going to wear our tires down with that grip? So that's kind of what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, definitely looking for that myself to see what kind of grip we do have. Looks like we're going to have quite a bit of it. So will that breed cautions here? We will find out. Again, for anyone just tuning in, we're at Kansas Speedway here tonight. So a fairly good track. I think a lot of people like it, and the ones that don't, well, they don't like it. So there's a lot of mixed feeling about this track, depending on who you ask. But that being said, again, we're having an issue with our point standings pulling up there. It's not wanting to pull the points. So we're having to read them off here. But most notably, Jamir Muhammad with a 15-point lead over Mikey Neal right now. Alex Huffman, 51 points out. But right behind him is Roger Muth, 52 points out. So third place right now is only separated by 1 point.
Yeah, and Roger Muth, I don't have the points up right now. I'm just so focused on getting everything else up. But Roger Muth being up there, a little bit of a surprise to me. But he's had some good runs lately. And, we've just kind of seen the big four. That's usually who we talk about. And by the big four, I mean Jamir, Mikey, Austin, and Bryson. These are the guys that usually are in contention for the win there. But having Roger Muth, nice to talk about him being up top there. And I'm not sure where we're at with the drops right now, but pretty tight there at the top.
Yeah, it very is. Right behind them, Austin Edstrom, 36 points out. Did gain 3 positions from the last race. However, Bryson Barker gained 1, and Dan Butler fell 2, and Justin Starr fell 2 positions in the points. But you go look back there from 5th place on, 9 points separating 5th and 6th right now. So that is definitely something that could change in a race. That is Austin Edstrom and Bryson Barker. Behind Bryson Barker, 4 points behind him is Dan Butler. So another position that could possibly change hands here tonight. Again, just a lot of good battles throughout the 20th spot. 20th is actually only in 20th of Jack Fellers, who I don't even believe is here tonight. He is actually, he can't race in this one. He is 1 point out, so he'll definitely fall out of the top 20 in points here tonight, unfortunately. John Van Varelis, somebody in that 87 machine, we've been seeing quite a bit of him lately up towards the front, so I would expect to see him put on a good finish here.
So I was looking at my lap times, right? Not everybody does 15, 20 lap runs in practice here. But of those that have done long runs in practice here, John Van Varelis is the fastest tonight. So again, some of the guys that we would expect to be watching, Bryson Barker, Mikey Neal, these guys haven't done, 15 lap runs yet, but looking at both the 10 lap times and the 15 lap times, right now our fastest driver on that is John Van Varelis. So not only has he been running good lately, it looks like he might have a little something going on tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching. And again, the difference between the times in qualifying, well, nothing. They can't do anything. This is a fixed setup, so there's not a whole lot they can do. So they have to go out there and kind of run what they have. So we'll be seeing if that is the case. He very well could be up in contention for the win. We'll see how the long run goes. If we have a long run, that is going to be the key here. If you have a long green flag run, or if we have little runs, some of these guys, and we've seen Jamir being one really good one at it. They know how to conserve the tires a little bit, and that may be what he's doing. He's found that line that doesn't tear up the tires too much, and it's really good at the long run. The question is going to be, though, will we get that long run?
Well, and the thing with Kansas, and we hit on it a little bit in that pre-race show, is once we get a little bit of wear on these tires, because it's progressively banked, you pretty much got to run that outside line against the wall, or you get killed down the straight stretch. If you try to run that inside line, you may gain a little bit in the corner, but they're just going to blow by you down that straight stretch. You get so much more speed coming off that corner. So one of the things that it's going to be is, how important is tire wear really going to be here tonight? Because you're not going to be able to pass. Once we start getting so many laps on these tires, it's going to be really, really difficult to pass. And when you get up front, maybe when you're in the back and guys are saying, okay, I'm going to let faster guys go. But when you start getting closer and closer to the front, even if you got a faster vehicle and save more tire, getting by them's not so easy. So I'm going to say that this is going to be one of those races where maybe the long run tire saving thing isn't the advantage. I'm really going to be looking for guys that can be aggressive and get track position on the restarts.
Yeah, well, that very well could be. You are, of course, the race expert here. That is one reason we love having you in the booth here. So we'll see how this one does play out. We didn't get a chance to get a fuel or tire window from these drivers, so that is something that we will have to work on, maybe figuring out if we get a caution, we can talk to a driver as they are in the drivers' meeting at the moment here. So while we have a moment, before we get to the national anthem coming up here in just about a minute and a half, we want to always thank everybody for tuning in here for tonight's race. We do hope you enjoy it as always. Again, for myself and Jeff here in the booth, we try to do the best show we can for you, and hopefully you all enjoy it. And we got quite a few people out there, so thanks for tuning in. And if you're new here, this is your first time coming in, or second or third, and you just haven't hit it yet, hit that subscribe button and the little bell. You'll be notified of all upcoming events, as well as the thumbs up if you like tonight's race. That only lets us know, lets all the other fans know, the drivers know that you like the show they put on here tonight. So that is how you can do that. And as always, we do have the donation thing in there if you feel inclined to do that. You don't have to. We just are glad to have you here watching tonight's race. But it is just about time. We got about 2.5 minutes on the clock. We'll be going to the national anthem here in about a minute. So, Jeff, any last thoughts here before we go to the national anthem, and then we get ready for some qualifying?
Yeah, no thoughts. I just want to highlight a little bit here in practice tonight. We talked about John Van Vrillis. Alex Huffman, too. I see that he posted in track that he's slow tonight, and that's just not true. He is the fastest single-lap guy in the track right now, so he's somebody else to keep an eye on here while we go to the national anthem and come back for qualifying.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on Alex Huffman, who is not slow here tonight by any means. That being said, it is time to step away here for the national anthem, where we honor our country, as always here, as we love to do in motorsports, whether it's sim or not. So we'll be right back with qualifying after the national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see as this time the first one we catch going out onto the track is going to be the 99 of Justin Starr. We'll see where he can pull up here. We also have Mikey Nill sort of on the track. I'm not sure what he's doing. We'll check in real class. He's actually spinning through the grass at the moment, so not sure what's going on there, but Justin Starr, Damian Leininger on the track, James Morgan, John Van Varel, sorry, Reese Milton, Craig Covington. There are a lot of drivers coming out really quick here, which is different. We don't typically see this. They usually kind of take their time.
Yeah, I not sure the reasoning behind that. You know, when I'm racing, I like to take my time.
I just remembered Mikey has an EOL, so he's going to be starting at the back anyway.
Oh, that's probably why you saw him going through the grass. He probably parked it in the middle and realized that he had that EOL.
Yeah, so he decided he would do some donuts instead. But, well, at least he got to do some donuts before the race started. But that being said, times are coming in as Alex Huffman's going to be at the top. We'll bring up your top qualifying times. Alex Huffman right now at the very top with a 29.598. As looks like Justin Starr ran a 30.136, but his time did not count for some reason, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Hey, got a little bit of a wall there. I was watching him. I saw some sparks fly. We'll see what he gets on this lap. But Alex Huffman with a 29.598. We watched all of practice. I think that would have been one of the fastest times in all of practice, too. So that is going to be a tough one to beat. Chris Brown comes into P2 right now with a 29.699. Damian Leininger's third with a 29.717. James Morgan, 29.747. And Jason Covington rounds out our top five right now with a 29.748.
And right outside is going to be John Van Varel. Now it's going to be Jason Covington as he gets moved down. Bryson Barker ran a 29.577 in that number 84 machine, and he'll take to the top of the charts. Brian Bizzle, someone we talked to a little while ago, currently 11th place with a 29.936. And Brandon Dorsett, we also talked to in 10th with a 29.888. So back they were about 20th in practice. They have definitely bumped it up here in qualifying.
Yeah, Jameer Mohammed out on the track right now. His first lap was actually pretty slow with a 30.659. So let's see what he can lay down on this lap. He's somebody that we would expect to see up front, and as our points leader, he certainly does not want to start in back tonight.
No, and he does. 29.542 takes it to the top. And one thing we will see here tonight, this is one of those tracks, as you watch Jameer take it all the way nearly to the grass, it is a white line. That is perfectly legal. You can go below that white line to try to gain a little bit of time.
Yeah, not only can you go below that white line, as long as you've got some fresh tires and don't upset the car too much during the race. I mean, it can be good for maybe even a 10th or almost a 10th. It's a great place to try to get by a car there.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it looks like we have Justin Starr in the booth with us.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt your qualifying right now, but I just found out some really cool news right before the race that I want to share with you guys. Thursday night, Parker Klingerman is going to be racing at Bristol with the Global Building Contractors logo on the truck and also a RACECORE Online Racing League sticker on the truck at Bristol this Thursday night. So I just wanted to hop in here and let you guys know that because I don't know if you got any of the information or not.
Oh, I think I'd read something about that, but yeah, we'll definitely, there's no better place to have a logo on your car than Bristol. It's an awesome track, so I'll be watching for sure. I don't remember where I saw that, but I do remember seeing that somewhere. So yeah, we'll definitely be watching it. And there, for anyone that's out there, make sure you tune in, and hopefully they'll make sure they get some airtime there. We have to send some emails in.
Oh, that's exciting news. I will definitely be tuning in to see RACECORE and Global Building Contractors on full display on Parker Klingerman's truck there at Bristol. That'll be fantastic.
All right, guys, have a fun broadcast, man. Hopefully I'll have a good night and talk to you at the end, but I won't hold my breath.
Well, hopefully we'll see you up here.
Okay, guys, later.
All right, good luck, Justin.
Well, there you go. It's not often you get your league on a actual race truck, so I'll definitely be tuning in. Hopefully the car keepers people don't get too upset when I'm watching the race during the race, but Yeah, we'll be watching for that. It's always a cool deal when you can see your actual league logo on someone's actual real car.
You know, it is real neat. The number of people in real life, whether it's the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, or the Cup Series, that actually are part of iRacing. Right, we've got a number of drivers that actually drive in the Cup and Xfinity and Truck Series that run in leagues on iRacing, or part of the iRacing community. We've got crew chiefs. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day who's going to Bristol as well, and you know, got a garage pass because of one of the crew chiefs that works in iRacing and gets to go meet him there, and so there's so much overlap there. It really is a neat thing, and then to you know, have somebody you know here, RACECORE and the Global Building Contracting, to see that get some of that crossover. That is just one of the neatest things about what we're doing here with iRacing.
It definitely is. And speaking of racing, it's just about that time. We're getting to the grid, and it looks like everyone but Trevor Graffin and Austin Edgestrom all are on. So it looks like they are rolling off. So, Jeff, you want to go through our first 12 drivers here, and then I will bring us home, and we'll get this thing started.
Yeah, absolutely. On your pole position there, row 1 inside, number 14, Jamir Mohammed. Outside of him, one of his chief rivals in the 84 of Bryson Barker. Inside, row 2, Alex Huffman in the 83, and outside him, the 1 of Chris Brown. Row 3 on the inside, the 45 of Brian Jones. And outside of row 3, we got Damian Laniger. In P7, inside row 4, we got the 12 of James Morgan. And coming in on the outside of row 4, P8, the 10 car of Jason Covington. In row 5, on the inside, the guy we highlighted in the pre-race show, John Van Verilla, starting in P9. And outside of him, the guy we just talked to, the 99 of Justice Star, coming off in P10. In row 6, on the inside, we've got the 11 of Dennis Ellis. And on the outside, in 12th position, row 6, outside row, Charles Hoffman, and that rounds out our top 12.
In row 7 is going to be the 5 of Brandon Dorsett and the 22 of Jeff Pogo. Row 8 is going to be the 28 of Brian Bizzle and the 91 of Jim Locking, and they're getting started. Row 9 of Brian Dorsett and the 30 of Mike Rigney, sorry, and we'll go ahead and clip it there. That is your 10 rows, as there are a few drivers we didn't get to mention there as they get going. They only take one lap around here. I wish they really would take two. Ones we want to mention we didn't get in there: Ray Moss, Craig Covington, Reese Milton, Matthew Ellis, Scotty Zerk, Mikey Neal, and Justin Spear. Those last 2 or 3 did have EOLs, so we didn't get to those as they got started going, but they're already going 2 and 3 wide up here at the front, back here with Alex Huffman, Chris Brown, and Brian Jones.
Yeah, Jamir Mohammed, he got off to a great start, was able to clear Bryson Barker, get to the outside. Bryson Barker in behind him. We already see this on lap 2. We see guys giving up the bottom and fighting for position on the top. So just like we heard in the pre-race show, you know, that bottom line, we've still got some guys running it, but our leaders are all single filing up front up against the wall right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting because they want to run that high line. That seems to be the line to go to. But when it comes to the little trial area, they really, some of these guys anyway, are really dropping down to that bottom, again, right there near the grass. So we'll see. That seems to give them a little bit of edge. But the problem with that is we've seen it before. If you get down there and a couple of cars can get up beside you, you can lose getting up on that outside wall, and it'll cost you position. Luckily, I think they're going to gain enough time that won't happen. So we'll see which strategy works. But up here to the 84 of Bryson Barker, who is all over the back bumper of Jamir Mohammed right now.
Yeah, Bryson Barker all over the back bumper. We're going to find out here real quick if there's any grip length in these tires for these guys to run down low, because he wants by, and you know, he's going to have to figure out how to make that move down low. Even though he takes the inside here, Jamir Mohammed's going to have the preferred position getting in that corner up against the wall, and Bryson Barker tried to hang it down low, but had to slide up behind him there into that corner as they both run the wall and come out to the corner there the same way they entered it.
Yeah, those front two, really front 3. Alex Huffman putting on a good show, as you can actually watch your top 3 on the screen at one time. They're that close together. And caution is out. And it looks like it's going to be Brian Bizzle who is on pit road. So let's go back and take a look. I say that. We also have Brandon Dorsett coming down pit road as well. So I'm not sure what happened. Hopefully the two teammates didn't get together here. We are on the replay camera to find out, as they are next to each other on the track.
What I'm seeing with Brian Bizzle is just pulling off the track. So I don't know if he caused the caution or not. Not sure what happened there. I didn't see anybody else wreck, though.
Yeah, that is very interesting. He did pull it down. I don't think that would bring out the caution. The only other car that came down pit road early was Brandon Dorsett, and he just pulled it down pit road. And he did not go to his pit stall either. So I'm not sure what happened. The two teammates, both of them, one pulling off the track and one pulling to the pit road. And they are both sitting on pit road now and have been there for almost a minute and just over a minute, as your top 3 drivers did not go in, 4 or 5 technically, as they're still sorting it out here, but everybody else coming down pit road.
Well, with our top 3 drivers, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm showing Justin Starr in second place right now. So Bryson Barker did pit out a second. He did go into the pits. Mikey Neal gained major track position. He had that EOL. He had to start the back. I believe it was in about P24, 23 when that caution came out. And by staying out on track, which I think is a fantastic move, there's not that many laps on these tires, and it gets hard to pass. He's up to P4. Even if he loses a few positions on this restart, he probably settles in the top 10. So I think that's a good move by him. Justin Starr as well gained a lot of track position. Charles Hoffman gained a lot of track position. Scotty Zerk. So big moves by these guys. Jameer Mohammed, we'll have to see. He didn't gain any spots, but that's what happens when you're the leader. You don't know what everybody else is going to do.
Yeah, that is a very good there. We got a message out to Brian Bizzle. See if we can't maybe figure out what happened there. But again, Brian Bizzle just abruptly pulling it off the track, and then shortly after, his teammate Brandon Dorsett pulling it to pit road. I can only imagine that is maybe what brought the caution out. We really don't know. Is maybe the 28 pulling off did bring it out, but he was out of harm's way, so I don't know what exactly happened there, as that was the only thing we could find. But they've been on pit road for a while, but regardless, Jameer Muhammad is about ready to get this thing started again here to start lap number 9 of 100. So I expect to see some really good racing. We'll see 7, technically about 8 lap tires will be able to hold off these fresh tires.
Yeah, I think we've just taken the broadcaster's curse to an entirely new level.
Apparently so, as again...
I'm scratching my head. It looked like maybe there was a little bit of a bumper hook. I did not see any damage. They both pulled into the pits, and they've been in the pits for over 3 minutes. So they haven't gone behind the wall. I'm not sure what to make of this.
Yeah, definitely. I have, again, sent that message out to Brian Bizzle to see, and he hasn't responded, so I'm not sure. Maybe he is not at his at the wheel there and able to answer us, but hopefully we'll be able to get a word in. But we are green racing once again, and it is Jameer Muhammad still out front, but we're going to go back here as you have a good little battle going on between Justin Starr and Mikey Neal, and right behind them, here comes the cavalry, Bryson Barker, Charles Hoffman, and Chris Brown, as it is really tight here for about 3rd through 6th place.
Yeah, these guys with 4 tires are going to be able to work that low line and gain a few positions here in the early laps, but pretty soon it will be much more difficult. So Bryson Barker trying hard to get up there, as it looks like you've just about had Mikey Neal and Justin Starr 3 wide, and now he does.
He does indeed, and Mikey Neal squeezes on the top side. Whew, and then the 84 of Bryson Barker cuts his nose off there a little bit, but they do it cleanly, so a very good move. That's what he needed to do. You've got to get up to that top line. He does it, and the 8 of Mikey Neal had to check up quite a bit, and he does do so, and they settle in for second and third. But I want to watch that battle behind them right now. Still Chris Brown, Justin Starr, and Alex Huffman. Caution is out again, and this time it is going to be the 30 and the 10 that are involved. Jason Covington and Mike Rigney. So we know who to look for this time. Let's go back.
Yeah, it looks like the 10 and 11, Dennis Ellis and Jason Covington just kind of got into each other there a little bit. The 10 car of Jason Covington then shoots up into the wall, collects up to 63, and gets the 11 again. So Charles Hoffman caught up in that, Jason Covington, Dennis Ellis.
That is unfortunate. And there was actually another little bump up there as they were 5 wide at one point here. That was one wreck here. Let's go up to the 91 of Jim Locking and go back here. Just another little, about 40 seconds or so. And again, we're going to watch, we can get back to the 91 of Jim Locking. Him and I believe John Van Verellis got together as well. We'll see, it may have been him in the 6. But they didn't cause a caution. So this happened at the same time in front of these guys here. As we'll see, it may have actually been the 6 that was involved. During this 5 wide, they bump each other and keep it going. So a very nice save for the 91 and the 6.
Yeah, watching the pit road entry, these guys that stayed out on tires last time would have liked to have seen a little bit more laps on there, so they could have maybe come in and not lost that track position and got more guys to come in with them. So Mikey Neal, Justin Starr, Chris Brown's on 4 tires, never mind, but Mikey Neal, Justin Starr, 2 of our guys that stayed up front on the old tires, Demir Mohammed, probably would have liked to seen a few more laps. They opted to stay out, but most of our drivers from about 12th on back are coming in.
Yeah, they definitely are. We'll see. This is a second stop for some of these guys. Some drivers have 0, some have 1. So we have a lot of different strategies going on here. And I think, when we talked to Brian Bizzle and Brandon Dorsett, they said that we may see a few more cautions here because of the grip. People think they can push it in a little bit harder, drive this car a little bit harder. And that seems to be what we're seeing. We saw that one back there, but I don't know if I'd say that one necessarily was that reasoning, but the one that didn't cause a caution in front of them was because of that very thing. That could have been a caution, but just outstanding driving by the 91 of Jim Locking and the 6 of Matthew Ellis. They were 5 wide on the front stretch here in the tri-oval, and contact was made, and they both saved it. So if that had brought out a caution, that would have been because of that. And if that's what we're seeing here, 5 wide, we're in for some really good racing here and some really crazy racing.
Yeah, we're always in for some really good racing here. And one of the things we didn't get to talk about there was that move that Bryson Barker made to go from about 5th to 2nd place there on that restart. That is something you can only do on brand new tires, and you can only do it for a couple laps. So that's why I think we've got the couple cautions here right within a few laps of the restart, because once you get 5-6 laps on these tires, there's just really nothing you can do but kind of ride around behind somebody and wait for them to mess up, wait for them to just leave you a little opening where you can pin them and take that preferred line. So guys getting very, very aggressive. One of the places where you can fan out is on the straightaways, and coming off turn 4 there to the start finish line where you cut down on that tri-oval, there's a little bit of hill coming off of 4, and there's a little bit of rise getting to the start finish, and there's a couple different lines through there that can get you a little bit loose. You've also got the banking transitions there, and so sometimes that's where we'll see cars get just a little bit loose, bumping each other when they're running 3-4 wide, and it looks like maybe we got a little bit of that on that last one, but I'm still not sure what caused that first caution.
Yeah, definitely not either here. As right now, both of the 5 and 28 still on pit road. Lights are off on the pace car. As we'll take a quick look at our cautions. We are 15 laps in. Right now, 7 of those have been under caution. We've had 2 cautions so far. Still 86 laps to go. So we'll definitely be looking to see how many more cautions we do have. And if we get a long green flag run, that's the one thing we have yet to see, of course, but we've only had 14 laps completed anyway. As right now, there are a set of drivers out front. If we get that green flag run, will those drivers that are up front change? That's something that's definitely in this particular league, is different. You have those short-term drivers, I guess you could say here. Not really short-term, but that are good on the short run, and then you have long-run drivers. So just because these guys are up here now doesn't mean if we get a long green run, they will be up there in the end. So we're going to have to see. I'm sure the 14 will stay there regardless.
Yeah, keep an eye on Jameer Muhammad. Should be able to get the jump. It's his restart, but Mikey Neal and Justin Starr, as we got bumping all
45 to 87.
Looked like a little bit of a check up to 8 to 99, and then it really accordion back behind them.
Yeah, and no caution coming out so far, as I would have thought that would have brought one out, is Brian Jones in the 45 gets turned around. The 87 getting involved in this as well as John Van Varelis. No caution coming out for that. That is very surprising.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what happened. It looked like the 8 went. I don't know if there was something from the 14 because the 84 kind of started to go a little bit too, and then the 8 had to hold up. It looked like maybe the 8 just got a little eager, and then everybody behind him went, and they kind of piled into each other there. I don't know without getting into an in-car if I can tell what really happened there, but 8 got into the back of the 14 on the restart, and then it just accordioned.
Yeah, so without really seeing telemetry there, we will never know if the 8 got a little antsy there or if the 14 on those older tires maybe, of course they were both on older tires, maybe the 14 spun the tires just a little bit. We won't know. I mean, there's really no way to know unless we can actually see, their telemetry to see if maybe those tires spun. Or if he was just holding off there, it's possible the 8 just... misjudged the restart. Anything could have happened. We don't know. What we do know is there was a big pile up in the back, and no caution comes out, but those front 3 are right there still, as it didn't seem to hurt them too bad. Bryson Barker is once again literally almost pushing the 14 of Jameer Muhammad down the straightaways.
Yeah, Bryson Barker's got those newer tires, and he's going to try to take him down low here, but I don't know if he's got enough tire left to make this pass. Watch Jameer Muhammad get a run coming down the straightaway, and I don't think Bryson Barker was able to clear him there. So, yes, we're coming right back down. Jameer Muhammad able to hang on to the spot. Bryson Barker did clear him getting into the corner, though, so I got enough there to make that pass.
Yeah, and I will note here as we're looking at our information on the back end, while at the line, he technically did not have him cleared to scoot up in front of him. He did lead that lap. So he was ahead of him enough to lead the lap, but not enough to completely clear him. But he did, as you said, got by him there in the next corner. So we have a new leader, and that is the 84 of Bryson Barker. And, looking at a difference of 14 tires versus 21 tires, he has already pulled out a 0.5 second lead. And it looks like he is really pulling now 0.6 as those newer tires, while they are not that much newer, about 7 laps, are really pulling away as it's now 0.7.
Yeah, so Mikey Neal and Chris Brown are having a heck of a battle. Chris Brown's faster right now than Mikey Neal. He's got fresher tires. It's the same thing we just saw with Bryson and Jameer, but his tires are not fresh enough that he can make a pass. And so this is what we talked about, where maybe the long run doesn't matter so much. It's how fast and how many positions you can get on those restarts. Chris Brown right now is he's just trying everything he can to get by Mikey Neal and just can't do it.
Yeah, definitely is. And we'll look here. Back to another person that's got fresh tires. That is the 99 of Justin Starr. He also has some damage to that car. As we'll zoom in here a little bit. Quite a bit of damage to the side of the right side of the car, and it looks like a little damage to the back. So we'll see how much that plays a factor into it. And we'll see. I say that actually he does not have fresh tires. That was a correction. He does not have any tires. He has not pitted since 23 laps ago. Well, I guess that didn't pit, as we're getting it all screwed up here today. But he is not pitted. I thought he had fresh tires, but that is incorrect. The next fresh tires is the one I missed. It was Reese Milton. That's who we're trying to get to, who has 12 laps on his tires. So we'll see if he can get that 76 up there.
Yeah, the 99 at Justin Starr, Jameer Muhammad, and Mike, and the guys up front running on that no pit strategy yet. Justin Starr, he kind of got pancaked in the middle of that. He got in the back of Mikey Neal on that checkup, and then he got slammed from behind. So, add that to his old tires, and I got no clue how he's hanging in 6th place right now, how he even stayed in 6th place on that restart. He got kind of turned and all of that, but he managed not only to hang in the top 10, but barely just outside the top 5, and with a damaged car, and he's really not getting any pressure from Reese Milton behind him, who's on newer tires and has a clean car. So nice work by Justin Starr there.
Yeah, it definitely is a really good job from him to hang on that. But who is giving some thing here? That is Justin Spear in the 77. He was given a little bit of a run here at Reese Milton, and that is one of our drivers there as well. We'll pull this up here for his driver information. Started 26. He's up to 8th place right now. Again, pit strategy may be part of this. We'll see. He has been out on this set of tires for 20 laps out of the 25 completed on lap 26 right now, so he may have stayed out. I believe he did. But definitely making his way through this field once again after getting that EOL penalty from last week.
Yeah, Reese Milton and Justin Spear coming through the field together. I think both of them started, I want to say right in the back. And they've both gained right there with Mikey Neal. I think all three of those guys started in the very back, and Mikey Neal in 3rd place, and Reese Milton and Justin Spear up into the top 10. So 3 big movers in the race so far.
It definitely is. As we'll finish out your top 10 right now. 9th place is Brian Dorsey. Right now sitting in 9th. Dennis Ellis is in 10th place, and that's a really nice battle going on right now. Brian Dorsey, Dennis Ellis, and Craig Covington. It looks like the 11 of Dennis Ellis is gonna get by the 9, and so is the 96. Ooh, as the 11 gets into the outside wall pretty hard.
Yeah, Ray Moss in the 42 in the back just made a pass on the inside on some of his older tires, so able to get by Matthew Ellis there. Little surprised, didn't see what led up to that, but looks like he's running a little bit more of a middle line, which typically doesn't work here. Although when the track starts to rubber up, sometimes when it's a little bit tighter, you can get it to run down there. And I wonder if there's not something with this cold weather that's allowing him to run a line that doesn't normally exist. But he just took the bottom on that whole loop there around the track and lost a few positions back there that time on the bottom.
It definitely did, and these guys are really starting to make some good passes and shaking it up here. Back about midfield to the back here, about 15th, 16th, 17th. Again, we see the 91 currently in 16th position. After that almost spin, headed completely sideways and recovered from it. But what a recovery is. They're 4 wide. They're crossing the line once again. They are really starting to shake it up. And the 12 of James Morgan in the 22 are really starting to get side by side. As almost contact made there.
Yeah, we've got some really good racing there in the mid-pack right now with this group. The 6 of Matthew Ellis, the 42 of Ray Moss, 91 of Jim Locking, 22 of Jeff Pogo, the 12 of James Morgan. These guys are just, they're running 3 wide, they're 1 and 4 wide. They're changing, one guy's losing 3 places, 1 set of corners, and he's getting in. And just as we say that, 42 gets spun by the 6 there a little bit, and they both saved it. Incredible driving there. Both of those cars got sideways in the corner. The 6 got into the rear end of the 42 there a little bit, and both of them saved it, kept it going, and they're still in that pack.
Yeah, what a battle. We were sitting there watching it with you, and just goes to show what a awesome battle these guys are having here. Again, this isn't up for the lead, but it's just an outstanding battle. Right now, to update on your lead, as you can see it up there, 1.366 seconds separate your front two, and then you have another 3.1 seconds back to third place. So not a whole lot going on the front right now. That's why we're not up there watching, as the excitement is back here with the 42, the 91, the 22, the 12, even the 6, the 11. That's where all the action is right now with these guys battling.
Yeah, one of the things we did miss was the 83 of Alex Huffman was able to get by Chris Brown, which I knew that he'd reeled him in, and didn't think he was going to get by him. This battle in the back was just way too exciting to pull away from. So I missed how that went down, but a little bit of a surprise there with Alex Huffman pulling off the pass there, and something just happened to Jameer Mohammed.
And a caution is out. And we'll see. Scotty Zerk had just came down pit road. Jameer Mohammed was coming down pit road as well. And who'd you say something happened to who?
Jameer Mohammed. I saw something with him losing a bunch of positions. So
he is
it was
actually
just a green flag pit stop. He's
yeah,
fine.
He was on pit road. So again, not sure who this caution is for, as everyone seems to be up to pace. I'm not sure what brought it out here. Unless the caution is just being thrown randomly when these guys come down pit road, and it's not supposed to be. That would be very interesting if that was the case.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I know that we were, so I would estimate these guys probably have about 30 green flag laps of fuel in these cars. You got Justin Starr, Mikey Neal, and Jameer Mohammed hadn't pit yet. There'd been a lot of yellow flag flaps. I'm guessing they were close to being out of gas. And I'm wondering if somebody didn't spin getting into pit road there.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see here, as Scotty Zerk has some damage on that car. He had to come down pit road, so let's go back here a little bit and we'll see if we can't figure out if he was possibly in the caution. We may have to go back quite a bit here to figure out what might have happened. They're already under caution there. Let's go back a little bit more, as again, I think maybe Scotty Zerk had a little bit here, something possibly to do with this, but I'm just not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either what brought that flag out. It looks like looking at the scoreboard, Scotty Zerk was credited with that.
That's interesting. We're having to go back quite a ways to see if we can find out maybe what happened here, as we're still trying to find it. At this point, he already had damage, so I'm not sure. I'm unable to find out if he got in the wall. He already has damage here quite a bit on the replay, so again, not 100% sure. You just said it is showing him credited with it, so
the 12. Something happened with the 12. It looked like something with the, I don't know, Charles. I go back. I don't know how far back I am. I do see that the 12 spun and took it down in the grass, brought it back out on the track, but I do not know if that's what brought the caution out anymore, because I've gone back and forth so many times.
Oh, again, and we may never know here, as we'll go back and take a look here and see what's might have happened. See our incident counter here. Again, it's so hard to tell here, as nobody's off pace. It was just a really random caution again. So figuring out who it is definitely going to be a tough one to figure out.
Yeah, it looked like the 12 hit the grass while pacing after the caution was called, so I don't know. It's no idea what brought that one out.
Well, we will definitely be watching here to see if we can figure out maybe what happened. I don't know. We might have to try to talk to someone if we can to figure out what happened, but what we do know right now is Scotty Zerk is towards the front of this field. He is not, however, your leader. The 87 of Bryson Barker is your leader, and Justin Starr, at the highest he's been in this race, in second place right now with Reese Milton behind him. These guys did come in. Justin Star did take, looks like 2 tires. It was only on pit road for 9.2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 tires. So he's been out there. He hasn't had tires all night. Track position is definitely the strategy that Justin Starr's playing on 2-tire stops. So he's not changed those left side tires yet. I'm not sure how I feel about that call. I do know that this is one of those different tracks where you got to have track position, but to have that much wear on one set of tires, you get those different air pressures, and then to only take 2 tires, I would be real interested to know how this car handles after this. I think it's a pretty gutsy call, and I got to wonder if he's practiced it or not, but he's definitely somebody I am going to focus on this restart because I think he's going to have his hands full.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out how much of a handful it's going to be as they are set to go. Lights are off on the pace car, and this is going to be interesting. Again, very old tires on one side of the car, fresh tires on the other, as we are set to go racing one more time. And we'll see, will it be beneficial here, or will it hurt him? Well, we know one thing for sure, Bryson Barker is not going to make it easy on him. I wouldn't even say Reese Milton or Chris Brown are not either, but Ray Moss up in 5th place right now. Pace car dives off, and it should be out. There it is. We have them stacking up again here in the back. Green flag is out, and Bryson Barker shot out of a cannon. And right behind them, Justin Starr, Reese Milton, and Chris Brown are just all over each other.
Yeah, Justin Starr got some damage on those old tires. Hanging in there, but Chris Brown and Reese Milton definitely looking for a way to get by as they both clear them now. And Justin Starr back to 4th, and we got a couple cars, the 42 being one of them here, that look like they're going to try something on the inside. So we'll see. The first couple laps is where we're going to see how the strategy works for Justin Starr, and then see how many spots he loses, and then see where he hangs, see if it was a good call or not.
Yeah, definitely something to check out, see how this goes. We'll see if those tires do hang in there with him. Right now, he has fallen back to 6th place from 2nd, so he's lost a few, and here comes the 91 of Jim Locking getting up there, having probably one of the best runs he's had all season, at least this race anyway. Up in 6th place, Jeff Pogo, who has finished up in the top 3 before. He's in 7th. James Morgan coming in.
Car goes flying. Mikey Neal got some air, hit the wall. Not sure what happened.
Well, let's go back and let's take a look.
Looks like the 11 come down, clipped that rear corner. Mikey Neal goes flying up in the air, hits the wall, bounces off, and ends up down there on the apron.
Well, that is going to be unfortunate. Again, he's had a fast car, just had to start at the back due to an EOL. And we'll see, he was back here battling with the 11, and I believe the 11 is on the lead lap. And gets really hard hit, too, by the 11. That was a vicious, like you said, a very violent ride.
If the 11 was going down or the 8 was coming up, so that's one of the problems with cutting that try over there. Hard to say if one was coming up or one was coming down. Looked like Mikey Neal was trying to come back up off that tri-oval and expected a little bit more room there. Didn't get it. Looked like Dennis Ellis was expecting to run his line and have a little bit more room there, and he didn't get it. And so the end result is we got the 8 car crabbing down the straightaway here trying to get to the pits.
Yeah, and I'm going back here and looking at the blimp mode as we're watching here from an aerial view. See if we can get a better shot of it, and we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Watch that from an aerial view and tell me what you think of that one. We're going to leave that one open-ended. I'm not going to give my thoughts on that, as we're just going to leave that one there from the aerial view. Yeah, we're just going to leave that one there. Go back to the front of this race with Bryson Barker.
Yeah, it has to do with cutting that apron. That's what makes it hard to see, who it is there. It looks like at the one point that maybe Dennis Ellis is coming down, but when you look at it from another angle, it looks like Mikey Neal's shooting back up to the track, which you expect at a certain point. So, who owned the real estate, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely a tough call for whoever's running race control here tonight. That was a little, you could call it a racing incident, whatever you want to call it. It was a violent ride for the 8 of Mikey Neal, and that is unfortunate for him. But the lights are still on the pace car right now, so we are going to step away to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Lights are off on the pace car. We are just moments away from going racing here once again. And no, we are now 5 laps away from the halfway point, as we'll take a quick look at the cautions. 4 cautions for 15 laps, 55 laps to go. We have had one different lead change, that is between Bryson Barker and Jameer Muhammad. And to look at both of those, Bryson Barker is out front with 27 laps led. Jameer Muhammad back in 10th right now with 18 laps led. Will he be able to get back up to the front? I think so. We'll have to see. Cautions keep coming out. It may be a little bit harder for him here.
Yeah, we got 2 of the big 4 left in the race. Mikey Neal looks like he's pretty much out of contention for the night. Austin Edstrom's internet issues meant that he was never able to take the grid. So Bryson Barker, Jameer Muhammad, kind of the big names in this race that we expect to be duking it out for the win here at the end. But Reese Milton and Chris Brown and Alex Huffman. Here's 3 drivers. Reese Milton, probably the most surprising because I don't normally see him up front. But these are 3 guys who have been very fast. They're passing cars on the short run. They've made up some track position. And looking like maybe that, if we're going to look for somebody to make the upset here tonight, I think these are the 3 drivers I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think as Jameer Muhammad's already up to a 7th place, now 6th place. He is moving in a hurry. I think, it's probably going to be for the win here. Either Bryson Barker or Jameer Muhammad, who have been quick, or an upset. We have had Chris Brown, Alex Huffman up there, Reese Milton, like you said, Matthew Ellis. We know Jeff Pogo's fast. He's been in the top 3. Even Jim Locking in 8th place. We really have a lot of drivers, I think, here who could possibly make the upset here. And going with the trend, we've seen, like you said, 2 of our 4 big drivers here that are always up front out of this race, basically. One of them completely out, the other one back 1 lap down. So this race is not even halfway over. It could get interesting. There it goes. There goes the 3 as we were just watching that. I had a feeling that was going to happen as we were just about to go back and watch that.
Yeah, the 12 looked like he just got a little bit shaky there, and I think the 3 just checked up a little bit to miss him, and a little bit of checkup getting in the corner there because the 12 was loose.
Oh,
and looked like maybe he just got behind.
And if you go back a little bit, you're right. The 22 of Jeff Pogo actually was scraping the wall. That's why the 12 checked up, and then the 9 and the 3 getting together, and it was on from there. So the 22 of Jeff Pogo, when we caught the 12s checking up, he was actually scraping the wall. So that may have been what kind of set all this in motion.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take much when you've only got one good line, and you're all trying to run that wall. And I don't know if you can imagine what it's like to be doing 170, 180 miles an hour and run that wall like that. It takes a lot of concentration. The fast line is right up against that wall, and so if you're going to run fast, you got to be up there against. I mean, you can try to duck down a little bit, but now you're lifting more, and so just any little thing like somebody checking up or somebody bumping a wall in front of you, it doesn't take much at all to just make one little jerk of the wheel and give you a handful of a car.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. And everybody, as expected for the most part, coming down pit road. We do have Bryson Barker and Chris Brown going to stay out. But Alex Huffman leading the field down pit road. And again, I kind of expected that. They've got about 15 laps on these tires. So I kind of expected most people to come down pit road here. But we have had, every caution we've had at least 2 to 3 drivers, if not more, stay out here. So I kind of expected that as well, as Bryson Barker has stayed out before and come in before. So just a mix-up here. You never really know who's going to come in and who's going to stay out.
Yeah, well, so far, leaders aren't wanting to give up that track position, right? Getting to the front is not easy at this track right now. It doesn't look like we're able to make that bottom work for very long. We've got a few laps on there, so guys would rather just try to hold on the lead, get that get that jump on the restart, and just see if they can't use that cushion to hold the lead. But if you're Bryson Barker and Chris Brown, you'd like to see a few more drivers between you and Alex Huffman. So Alex Huffman, Reese Milton, first guys out there. Well, and Alex Huffman on 2 tires, so 2 tires stopped by Alex Huffman. Reese Milton, your first guy on 4 tires. James Morgan, who was just in the kind of in the middle of that whole thing for the caution there, 2-tire stop to come out 5. And then Jameer Mohammed on 4 tires back there in 6th place.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if those 2 tires held up. We've only seen the 2-tire stop once here that I can recall, and that was for Justin Starr. As we'll check in, he is back in a 12th position right now. When he got those 2 tires, it didn't work out too well for him. He did fall back about 7 positions. However, if you've been back in the back a little bit mid-pack, maybe 2 tires aren't too bad for you. Especially we have had several cautions here tonight. So if you look at James Morgan, he's been battling for about 12th to 15th-ish place. So now he's sitting up in the top 5 position. If you can hang on there just a little bit here, you very well could get another caution. It would be our 6th caution if it comes out. And then he could come in with the rest of these guys and pit a little bit higher up in the chain of cars and come out a little bit higher and have fresh tires in. So definitely not a bad strategy.
I think 2 tires maybe for me. If I got 5, 6, 7 green flag laps on there, I might consider it. If I got more than that, I think it's tough to make that call. Now, Alex Huffman and these guys that took the 2 tires, James Morgan, they were just in pits a few laps ago. I don't know how many we got on that green flag run, but I don't think it was that many. So I think those guys are probably all right, whereas Justin Starr had gone an entire field run on his 4 tires and then put 2 tires on there. And, he looked like kind of a rolling roadblock there for a little bit. he got overtaken, and everywhere you went and looked at Justin, he was, 3 wide, it seemed like, there for a bit, and they were kind of checking up behind him. So he was definitely not nearly as fast. And, did it work? I don't know. Track position is king. The reason we saw guys 3 and 4 wide is because it's so hard to get around, and that's why you want the track position here. So maybe it's worth it. But I would say that if Justin had to do it all over again, I'm going to guess that he probably would have taken 4 tires on that.
Yeah, I think I think looking back, he may have as well. But that's the thing here, early in the race, you live, you learn, and next time you get 4 tires. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But he did good. I think if you're going to try it, it's good to try it early in the race. That's the best time to do it. You definitely don't want to try it in the closing laps. That being said, unless you got maybe 4 or 5 laps to go, and you can kind of see how it works. But again, we got cars diving down early. Looks like a little bit cleaner start this time than we've seen the last 2.
Yeah, Bryson Barker out there. Alex Huffman here on his 2 tires. We're going to see if he can make this work on Chris Brown. Hold that inside, hold enough, get enough room run off the corner here to take that position. I think he might be able to do it. And Jameer Muhammad already making hay there on the inside too. So these guys got a couple laps to make this inside work, and then they're done. Looks like Alex Huffman's going to clear him. If he can slide up, he's going to be in 2nd place here, and he does.
Yeah, he does do so, and here comes Jameer Muhammad, as you were talking about just now. He's going to try to get up there as well, and it's going to make it a little bit more difficult, I think, for him because he's got the 83 up there, but the 83 is enough ahead now that he can slide in. As sparks were flying, I'm not sure who that was, unless Bryson Barker just scraped the outside wall. But sparks were flying there for around 2nd place, but he did not hit the wall, so I think it might have been the 84.
I think the 84 hit the wall because Alex Huffman closed that gap. He is all over the rear bumper of the 84 right now, looking like he was shot out of a cannon. So I suspect the 84 clipped that wall. I don't know if there's enough left on these tires to make that bottom pass, but Alex Huffman's going to give it a shot. He's going to lose the position on Jameer Muhammad here. Jameer Muhammad has a preferred position getting into the corner, and I think that attempt at a pass is going to cost Alex Huffman a place here, but we'll see if he can hang on to it and make it work.
Yeah, definitely, and while he's doing that, we're going to keep an eye on that. Also, jump back here a little ways to this next little group. As you have Chris Brown, Matthew Ellis, Jim Walking, Brian Jones. These 4 cars right here putting on a heck of a battle. Even the 77 of Justin Spear getting in it. And if you wait too long, you might see Jeff Pogo, Craig Covington, and Justin Starr getting into it as well.
Yeah, they got a nice battle back there. We got some 2 wide, almost 3 wide back there. Then we've got another nice little group behind them too. So still some pretty good battles going on a little bit further in the pack now that we've gone a little bit single file up front.
Yeah, definitely have. And we'll keep an eye on that as we'll take a look here. Jameer Muhammad had already gotten by your 2nd place, Alex Huffman. As we'll watch this just for a minute, we may have a pass for the lead. Here comes Jameer Muhammad. As those 2 up front right now, Bryson Barker, Jameer Muhammad, those are the only 2 drivers that have led laps tonight in the race, as we have 40 laps to go this next time by. So we'll see. It looks like maybe those newer tires are a distinct advantage, as it looks like we have the 8 also crabbing it around the track right now. Something else happened, or he did not go in to get that damage fixed.
He's got no fast repair. There's nothing he can do. He's got a full night's worth of damage there, so he's just trying to log some laps, I think. Alex Huffman lost a spot to Reese Milton, so the 2 tires not looking like they're hanging on too good for Alex Huffman there coming out of the pits.
Definitely not, as he is falling back here just a little bit. Back to the front, Jameer Muhammad still all over the back bumper of Bryson Barker, but keep in mind there's a difference. 24 laps on Bryson Barker's tires, 9 fixing to be 25 and 10 on Jameer Muhammad, and he's not able to get by him. So I'm wondering if that was a very good call there to not go in. As long as you don't have somebody with fresh tires, 1 or 2 cars behind you, where you see Jameer started 10th on that restart. It took him enough laps to get up to Bryson Barker that he doesn't have the tires to pass on the inside. So, again, that is a very tough call to make. If you have enough gap, I think you can stay out, and those fresh tires won't get you or get you past. However, you aren't going to know that until the actual event happens and you see how many people come in.
Yeah, you got about 3 to 5 laps where these guys are going to be able to make that inside work and then pull the slide job on you. So you want a cushion. That's where we talked about Jamir Muhammad was going to want to see more than just one car behind him, because I think Chris Brown was the other guy that stayed out, and he's already back to 7th, right? So if you're the last guy on fresh tires, they're probably going to eat you up there on the restart, or last guy on old tires. So once you get by that 3 to 5 laps, now you got to be able to just hit your marks. You can't bobble it. You can't scrape the wall, because if you can hold that high line, even if they get to the inside, they've got to lift more than you, and you carry more speed coming out of the corner. You run them down in the straightaway, they can't clear you. But all it takes is one little rear end slide or one little wall scrape or something like that, and then you've lost it. So for a guy like Bryson Barker, who's an excellent driver, you know he can hit his marks lap after lap. And yeah, it's a good call. Jamir Muhammad and Reese Milton, both of them, you look at them, they're all over his bumper. They're faster than him, but they cannot get by him.
Yeah, they just can't get by him. And Reese Milton has really started reeling them in, too. The more Jamir Muhammad tries to get by Bryson Barker, the more Reese Milton is running them down. Alex Huffman coming in there as well. As here in a minute, we very well could see a 4, possibly even 5-way battle for the lead. As here comes the 76 on the inside. He's going to try to get something going here. And Matthew Ellis in that 6.
Bryson Barker dives to the inside and looks like he concedes the spot to Jamir Muhammad there.
Yeah, we'll
looks
see.
to me like he's giving it up. He was severely off pace. He was holding these guys up, and I think he let them go. It's probably a good move so you don't get wrecked.
Ooh, and coming down pit road, too.
He's working it backwards here. He's got 34 laps to go, so he's short pitting these guys, and I think his plan is take gas now, stay out the rest of the race.
I would imagine so, and he probably expects a caution as well, so he's going to be able to save a little bit under that, because I would imagine we will see, and there is the caution right there.
Caution. This may work out. We'll have to see how this cycles through, but if Bryson Barker can get 4 fresh tires, a tank of gas, and come back out without losing that lap and be in front, that could be the race.
It very well could be, and we're going to go back here. I think it was the 45 of Brian Jones that might have brought out the caution, as we'll see here what happened, as he's right here running with the 96 and the 99, but I'm not 100% sure this is what brought out the caution, but we're going back to see the 96 into the wall. The 45 tries to avoid it, and gets into the 99 of Justin Starr. So just a racing incident there. It looks like again, the 99 scrapes the wall. 45 tries to avoid it. So the 96 that was, we'll see who that is. Craig Covington scrapes the wall. The 45 of Brian Jones tries to avoid it and collects the 99 of Justin Starr with him.
Yeah, and Bryson Barker was scored a lap down on that. So he did go a lap down. So he went from having maybe the race gifted to him with that caution to now he's going to have to take the lucky dog wave around to get back on. So he's going to start at the end of the lead lap. So the caution giveth and the caution taketh away there on that one. Bryson Barker, just no luck on that one.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there. I thought he had it good there for a minute, but again, Bryson Barker, as we see there, he is in front of the pace car, so he will get the wave around. But seeing how many cars are on the lead lap right now, as he's at the tail end of it, he is going to be, even after the wave around, he'll be in 19th. And the bad news is, too, because it came out so quick, that means that all these guys are now good to go here to the end of the race. So now it's really going to get interesting, I think, to see if we have another caution. We'll see what kind of strategies come in, whether you come down for the tires, whether you stay out for the track position, because we know now they can make it to the end on fuel.
Yeah, I think green flag laps, these guys are going to be pushing it right around 30 to 32 laps. So if this thing goes green, we may have fuel come into play. I think if we get any caution whatsoever, it's not a problem. I think these guys make it with one caution without a problem. I think with no cautions, maybe it's close. Or, watching them pace and take down the laps, or maybe it's not as close as I think it is. Also want to point out Alex Huffman, fantastic pit stop, came out your leader, was in the pits about a second less than Jamir Muhammad in the stop, and had about two seconds faster than him in and out, so on pit lane. So Alex Huffman able to jump up to the lead from, I believe, 4th place entering the pits on a 4-tire stop. So fantastic stop by Alex Huffman.
Yeah, and it looks like here, I think everybody has seen what 2 tires can do, and everybody took 4.
Now, the 76 of Reese Milton, who was up front and in that mix, what happened to him?
That is a good question. He is back in 17th right now, as he was on pit road for 16.6 seconds. That 48 seconds for Reese Milton. So he was on pit road for quite some time. So interesting there. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he had an extended pit stop.
Overshot his pit box, backed up. Watching his pit stop now. Pulled forward, backed. Oh, he just too far right. Overshot his pit box. Just couldn't get it set in the pit box right. And that is extremely tough to do, guys. One of the things we can't show on here is the animated pit crew. So we're near in a car. It's like NASCAR. You got your guys jumping all over the wall and bringing the tires and doing your tires. And you've got to be just, you can't just pull in that box. You've got to be perfect in that box. You got to be in the right spot. It is not easy to do. It's easy to miss. He pulled into his pit box, locked up his tires, slid through the pit box, and had to make a couple runs at putting it in there. So, unfortunate for Reese Milton, who was having a fantastic night.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it is unfortunate for him. But just like the real-world counterpart, your iRacing pit crew does not take too kindly to you running them over. So while you can drive through them, they still simulate that you drove through them or that you would have hit them. So you have to be on your marks there. As pit road has been known to be the killer spot for some of these guys. It's unfortunate. It can bite you. It looked like he did there. Hopefully he'll salvage a decent finish out of the night race, but the green flag is out once again. Alex Huffman on the loud pedal, as it is Jamir Muhammad running him down, and we got James Morgan and Chris Brown as they're going to take it 3 wide for second place, or at least we thought they were going to. The one of Chris Brown does back off just a little bit.
Yeah, James Morgan going to give Jamir Muhammad a little bit of a hard time back here and maybe hold him up. So that's exactly what Alex Huffman wants to see. As Jamir Muhammad does clear the 12, Alex Huffman wants to make it about 4 or 5 laps here in first place. Because then, as long as he hits his marks, he may be able to run this out and hold everybody off. They may not be able to get by him unless we've got some kind of, tire stop, everybody gets new fresh tires and pit there. So Alex Huffman going to try real hard here these next 3-4 laps to hang on to first place.
Yeah, and we're going back here a little ways. We'll keep an eye on those leaders as well, but go back here to about 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th place. Here comes the 84 Bryson Barker. He's up to 12th, and they are 4. I've seen 5 wide again back here at some time, as they are just really starting to mix it up back here about midfield.
Yeah, if we're going to see a caution here, this is where it's going to come from. This is where it's pre-race. We talked about the extra grip allows you to feel like Superman out there with those tires. And, for a couple laps, we can drive this car places where maybe we wouldn't normally, and we think we can drive it places that we can't. And these guys are just all over the place, 3-4 wide, and doing a fantastic job getting down under an apron, getting off. Some good racing back there.
Yeah, that seems to be where our cautions have come from. We're putting the car where you think it'll drive and it won't, or putting the car where it would drive earlier and won't anymore because of the tires wearing off. It seems to be what we've seen some cautions for here tonight. The 3 of Damian Leininger has quite a bit of damage. to his car. Right behind him, Justin Starr has some damage. And behind them, you have Dennis Ellis, Craig Covington, and Reese Milton, who is on the lead lap now, trying to work through this group here, being scored in 16th after that mishap on pit road. And he has got his hands full trying to get around these guys, as it is becoming a challenge, as they are literally inches away from each other right now.
Yeah, just great racing back there. Watching Justin Starr trying to get by Leininger right now. Now we're at that part now. Is there enough grip to make that inside work? Justin Starr makes it work. I think he can slide up, but he doesn't do it. And Leininger gets that run off the corner, clears him. Justin Starr has to slide up behind him. Slows down quite a bit here and loses a lot of ground on that. And now watching, I think it's the 45 of Brian Jones trying to do the same thing on the inside. I think the inside's lost it now. I don't know that there's enough grip down there for these guys to make that move.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't think there's enough grip down there. Ooh.
3 and the 45 get into each other, but they managed to keep it straight.
Ooh, and now the 99 gives a back bump to the 3. And I believe that may have been the incident point for the 3 of Damian
He's gone.
Leininger. And Dennis Ellis gone as well in the 11, as they do have, I believe, an incident cap limit here, and both of them may have just hit it.
Yeah, 17-point incident cap, and I got to believe I'm with you, because right there on that little shot, all of a sudden he disappeared. So I believe, just like you do, that was the incident cap for those two drivers.
That is very unfortunate for those two drivers, as it does happen, and it does stink for sure, as it looked like both of them had been involved in a few incidents already. There was some beating and banging, but that kind of made that group fizzle out a little bit, as there's not as many cars as there were there.
Yeah, back up to the front here, though. Alex Huffman is under assault from Jamir Muhammad. He is driven up there. He is all over the back bumper here, trying to make Alex Huffman bobble it. And, it's mind games right now is really what it is. You just got to get up there. If you're Jamir Muhammad, really nothing you can do. You've just got to get up there and just try to make Alex Huffman make a mistake right now.
Yeah, and
go ahead, Charles.
I was just about to say we're at 20 to go, too, as here comes the 14. Oh, contact made between the 14 and the 83. The 83 hits the wall of Alex Huffman, and both of them, again, we've seen a lot of good recoveries. There's another one there.
That's one way to force a mistake.
Yeah, and it looked like, too, just a little bit here. I don't officially know if there was actually contact between the 14 and 83. It may have been really close there. It looked like Jamir Muhammad may have backed off a little bit if he did have contact, or if he may have got close enough that it kind of forced the 83 into the wall there a little bit. I think he backed up a little bit. There was
contact.
Well,
14 got into the side of the 83. 83 got into the wall, bounced off, and I think he might have clipped the 18 or 14 coming back off. And Jamir Muhammad gets a nose on the outside, so a mistake by Alex Huffman. And it looks like he may lose the lead here unless he can. Yeah, and he does. He's able to pull it back up in front of Jamir Muhammad. So nice recovery by the 83 there.
Yeah, definitely a good race to watch here as we're watching these two. But I think a little bit there, the 14 may have backed off and let the 83 kind of recover after that. As you know, the 14 of Jamir Muhammad wants that lead very badly, but that's not how he wants it. Contact is not how he wants it. I think he might have backed off just a little bit to give the 83 of Alex Huffman a chance to recover and try to get by him cleanly.
Yeah, 14 again takes that high line, gets it going into the corner. So another mistake by the 83 here, and I don't think he's going to hang on to it this time. The 14's got him going down the backstretch, just too much of a run. And that's one of the problems with cutting that corner at the start-finish line. It is a little bit faster, but when you got somebody behind you that might be a little bit faster, as I would imagine that damage on Alex Huffman's right front fender is slowing him down. Sometimes you got to play defense, and you can't take it all the way down to cut that corner just because you can't concede that high line getting into the corner.
Yeah, that's unfortunately is now we have to look back to the 12 of James Morgan, who is just mounting an assault over his own here on the 83 of Alex Huffman to see if he can get by, and we'll see if that damage will slow him down any. As we'll go through this field here a little bit. Here comes the one as well of Chris Brown, as he's going to try to get in there, and we see a glimpse of Mikey Neal still trying to just log laps right now. He is currently 3 laps down.
You know what? Hats off to Mikey Neal. It just is so incredibly tough to sit here and log laps in a car that's crabbing or driving sideways like that thing is for basically the duration of this race. So he's out there points racing, trying to get every position he can, and driving a car around here for an hour, hour and a half that is absolutely, it sucks. You just don't even want to be doing it. Every time they're coming, you're trying to get out of the way. You don't want to wreck and cause another caution. And, you know, hats off to Mikey Neal for sticking it out and logging those laps and trying to get those points.
Yeah, definitely is here. As we'll go just a few cars ahead of him. That is the 91 of Jim Locking, 6th place. Ray Moss, well, now Ray Moss is in 6th place. Brian Dorsey and Bryson Barker. Bryson Barker has worked his way up to 9th. With 13 to go, I unfortunately don't think he's going to have enough laps to get up there. However, that is as we run right now. We still could see a caution.
Yeah, absolutely, we could see a caution. And if we do see a caution with 20 laps on these tires, man, is Jamir Muhammad going to have a decision to make? Because, you know, if you go green with 5 to go and these guys could run that inside with 5 to go, man, do you want to be the first guy out there with no tires? Do you want to give up that track position? So caution would definitely be a game changer right now. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I know for sure is I don't want to be in that spot to have to make that decision, as it would be a tough one. And we may not see a caution. We may. We just don't know. That is why it's racing. You know, you just never know what you're going to get here with it. As we'll go up just a little bit here, as Bryson Barker is going to try to get by Jim Locking, and he will get by him. He's got his eyes set on the 42 of Ray Moss next, followed by Chris Brown, as Alex Huffman still hanging on to 2nd place. James Morgan hasn't quite caught him just yet. Let's go back here to one we talked about earlier. John Van Rellis in 12th. Has got some damage. That's unfortunate because, as you said earlier in the pre-race show, had a long run fast car.
Yeah, John Van Rellis looked real good in practice. Again, this is one of those tracks where, because of the one-liner racing, maybe the long run isn't as important here. We talked about that, right? Maybe being able to take those positions in those first 5 laps and get some track position was going to be a little more important. Jamir Muhammad was able to make that pass on Alex Huffman with about 15 laps on those tires. So, you know, now he's pulling away. So, you know, in that instance, the long run is helping Jamir Muhammad. But for most of these guys behind him, Alex Huffman's got damage now. And, you know, these guys just, it's hard to get positions in after that. So Alex Huffman probably going to be stacking up the field here a little bit as James Morgan looks like he's starting to run him down, and but probably won't be able to get around him unless we've got a caution that gets us new tires.
Yeah, with 9 laps to go, we are getting ever closer to what we refer to as the point of no return, and that is the 5-lap mark. Once we get to 5 to go, if a caution comes out, we will not go racing again. So some of these guys may want to see a caution to regroup here. Especially someone like Alex Huffman up there trying to run down the leader. But right now, that is not happening. 4.7 seconds gap for Jamir Muhammad, as he is just really pulled away from the rest of this field. They want to have a chance to get to him, but they want to have a chance to actually do that. If we get to the 5-lap mark, it won't happen. As, you know, it's unfortunate that we have to end it that way, but it could happen.
Yeah, Bryson Barker continues his assault through the field here as he's working over 5th place right now, Ray Moss. So Bryson Barker trying to get position on the outside. Ray Moss is maybe coming off the wall just a little bit more. you know, he's not right up there against the wall. And so Bryson Barker working real hard to get a nose in there. And he actually does it just as I'm watching him here. See if he can hold that getting into this next set of corners. If he can, he will have 5th place, and he does. So Bryson Barker going to clear him for P5. And next up on Bryson Barker's list is going to be Matthew Ellis here.
Yeah, and it'll be close. I don't know. I think he'll have a top 5. I don't think he's going to at least make it back to a top 3. With 6 laps to go, it will be a fight to get up there, as he's got to get by the 6, obviously, of Matthew Ellis. And then in front of him is the 12 of James Morgan here. Now it's 5 to go. So this is the point we were talking about. If the caution was to come out right now, we would not go racing again. So this point, it's all or nothing. These guys don't want a caution. They want to be able to run it out.
Yeah, well, it depends. If you're Jamir Muhammad, you want to run it out. If you're anybody behind them, you probably want a caution to bunch this up. You want a chance to maybe grab some tires or something and, you know, change your luck. So Jamir Muhammad definitely wants to run this out. Well, never mind. I'm lost here. Yeah, you're right. Caution ends it. So Jamir Muhammad wants this to end. He'd take the caution. Everybody behind him definitely wants it to go out. But I don't think anybody's going to catch Jamir Muhammad right now.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to either. It's, again, 6.8 seconds behind is 2nd place. He is definitely way out there ahead of these guys. I don't see any chance of anybody catching him unless he was to spin it out on his own. He is coming up on the 2 to go here in just a minute. As I may spoke a little too soon, Bryson Barker does get by the 4 here with 3 to go. Will he be able to get by James Morgan? He is not that far ahead. He may squeeze out a top 3 finish out of this yet.
Yeah, you know, James Morgan there should be able to hold him off, but, you know, I thought that with the last 2 guys too. They're just not wanting to get right up next to that wall, and they're leaving Bryson Barker just enough room to stick his nose in there. And, you know, I'm watching James Morgan running just about a line down too. So if Bryson Barker gets there, maybe he can take advantage of that line and get a nose in there and take that position. We'll see. It's some darn good driving by Bryson Barker to come through the field like he is and still make these passes this late in the run.
It is. There's the 1 to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. It is 1 lap to go. We're not even really going to go up to the leaders at the moment. Will for 2nd. There's 1st. There's 2nd. And 3rd place that is where the battle is right now. There is less than a lap to go. I think it's going to be James Morgan. I don't think Bryson Barker has just enough time to get up there. But, you know, honorable mention for 4th place, Bryson Barker. What a run. As he is not going to have enough time. Checkered flags are waving, and it is going to be Jamir Muhammad bringing home the win, followed by Alex Huffman and James Morgan. And to mention Bryson Barker, what a finish there. He did finish 4th, just shy of getting a podium. After leading 47 laps, he actually led the most laps here tonight.
Yeah, Bryson Barker was just victimized by a poorly timed caution. That came out and just did him in. If it had come out a lap earlier, he'd have been in the catbird seat. So Bryson Barker just with some bad luck here tonight. Matthew Ellis, solid run there, bringing it home in 5th place. Ray Moss, another guy that not usually one of these guys up front here, but he had a solid run all night. We watched him several times coming through the field, brings it home in 6th. Chris Brown in 7th. Jim Locking in 8th, Reed Milton in 9th, and Craig Covington there rounding out 10th place.
Yeah, definitely is. That's some really good driving here. We'll get rid of your winner there, and I guess we'll officially go through here unofficial race results. We've already gone through our top 10, so we will not repeat those. So 11th place will go to John Van Rellis in 11th. 12th place will go to Brian Jones. 13th will go to Justin Starr. 14th, Brian Dorsey. And 15th will go to Jeff Pogo. 16th place is, well, if we can get it, there it is. So a little glitch there. 16th will go to Scotty Zerk. 7th place will go to Justin Spear. 18th will go to Mikey Neal. 19th, Charles Hoffman. And 20th will go to Jason Covington. 21st will go to Dennis Ellis. 22nd, Damian Leininger. 23rd, Brian Bizzle. And 24th, Brandon Dorsett. And 25th will go to Mike Rigney. Again, I'm not sure what happened to Brian Bizzle or Brandon Dorsett. We never did find out. That will do it here for your unofficial race results. Austin Edstrom and Trevor Graffam not starting tonight's race. Austin obviously having connection issues and not sure what happened to Trevor Graffam. He just did not start. That being said, we will be right back here in just a few moments with your post-race show. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with the post-race show, and it should be a good one as we have, of course, all three drivers here, and coming in third place is the 12 of James Morgan, and I believe Jeff has caught up with him.
Absolutely, James Morgan. Welcome to the Jeff, Jameer, and James post-race show. Congratulations on your third place finish tonight. You just really had a fantastic run tonight. You got up front. You really kind of stayed up there. We know it's hard to pass here. It's, but I think you were in that mix up in that top 10 most of the night. Wasn't sure. We were watching there at the end to see if Bryson Barker was going to give you a run there. But he never was able to get to you there. So solid top three finish tonight. Tell us what it was like there from inside your cockpit here tonight on this race. Yeah, I'm not catching James there. I'm seeing him light up, but I don't hear him.
Having some technical difficulties here. Again, we'll
move it down to you there, Charles, and you can interview the second place. And if James can get his microphone working right, we'll give him another shot here.
All right. Well, I have caught up with second place. That is the 83 of Alex Huffman. Welcome to the booth once again, Alex. And what a run here. We saw you and Jameer just battle it out, just side by side so long here. And it looked like there a little bit, you and Jameer made contact and it puts you into the wall. It looked like maybe Jameer may have lifted a little bit. We know he's a very clean driver. I don't think he wanted to get by you that way. It wasn't anything dirty on either side. It was just some really hard racing here. Just go through those last few laps with you battling side by side, and then just how was this race overall here for you tonight?
Well, this race was overall for me was a handful. I got kind of clobbered on the rear one restart from people going, and before Jameer ever went, I was like, well, "Come on, people, gotta pay attention." But then I had to fix some damage, and then I asked Mikey early on or later on once I got that damage fixed. I was like, "Hey, is my rear end still messed up?" So I knew I was going to be a disadvantage on the straightaways, and when Jameer got to me there at the end, I was just trying to get away from him as much as I could because I knew he was quick. So I was like, I know that rear end damage I had from that restart early on was going to affect me a little bit. So I was like, I better get out ahead a little bit and see if I could get away from him. But I knew once he got to me, it was going to be hard to hold him off. He was quick, and then we had a little bit of contact. I mean, it ain't nothing, no fault really. I mean, that's just racing here at Kansas. It's a one groove track, and he just pushed up barely into me. And iRacing, it just seemed like it overreacted and threw me in the wall. But I did my best not to spin down into him because I didn't want to take him out from that. And yeah, held on for second. I mean, that right front wasn't helping me much there at the end, keep up with him, but I held on for second, so I'm happy. I'll take a top 3.
Well, definitely a great race here. Just outstanding by everyone here. We did have a few cautions, but even though we saw some 4 and 5 wide racing and a lot of 3 wide racing throughout this entire field. Again, you 3 come out on top. You get second place here, so we know you got some sponsors and shout-outs. So who would those be here for that second place finish?
I gotta thank Global Building Contractors for putting on this series, and also pretty cool for them to be on Parker Clearman's truck this weekend coming up at Bristol. Leo's Coney Island for the truck series, RACECORE, and you guys at VRN, you and Jeff finally showing back up once again to broadcast us.
All right. Again, congrats on second place. And, Jeff, we're going to hand it back over to you. You want to see if we get James, or you want to go to Jameer here?
Yeah, thank you there, Alex. Appreciate that. We'll go to Jameer next, and then we'll circle back to James and see if he's got his mic fixed. Jameer, welcome to our show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Not too bad. Congratulations on the first place finish tonight. Man, you had an up and down night. You took the pole. You led some early laps. You made some decisions to stay out there and just run the full field run there on that first stint. Everybody else coming in, getting tires. You're holding them off. I think you green flag pit there right about the time there was a caution coming out. End up having to come back through the field there a little bit, get back up front from what I saw, and then I think you lost the lead on pit stops there. Alex Huffman had a fantastic pit stop there. We go green to the end. I think you had about a 4 or 5 lap window to pull a pass off here tonight on those fresh tires, and then it was kind of done for a 1 lap line from what I saw. And did not think you were going to be able to get by Alex Huffman. We saw you just all over him, trying to kind of coax him into a mistake. You guys had a little bit of contact. Didn't amount to much. Almost looked like you conceded the position back, as a matter of fact, after that contact, but I could be wrong. And then you were able to make a pass, and once you got by, you were able to run away. But it seemed like a pretty eventful race, and like you kind of had to drive the wheels off this thing to get the win tonight. So that's what I saw. Why don't you tell us what it was like, or kind of how the race went for you from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed up my race perfectly there. Yeah, I was just try to stay out for track position in the get-go as much as I can. And Bryson, he got fresh tires early on and was able to come through the field, and I let him go because I just didn't want to race with him early. Also racing for the points, so I just kind of wanted to be patient there at the start. And then caution came out when I pitted, which really sucked. I got the wave around, and took me about 20 laps to get back to top 5, and I guess we pitted halfway. Bryson didn't pit, so he had to pit there with 34 to go, and as soon as he pitted, caution came out, and so that kind of took him out of the running there for the race, which was unfortunate because would have loved to see what we would have had against each other with the same tires. and Mikey never really got a chance to get up there either with the same tires as well. And, but yeah, at the end there, I feel really bad that I got into Alex because obviously it gave us both incident points, and that's not the way I wanted to pass him. I did let off and try to regroup behind him and try to do it all over again. I was a little bit faster than him at that point, so I felt like I could get him over time. But yeah, just I think Alex might have given me a little extra room there at the end to make me pull off the pass. But yeah, it was a fun race. It was an eventful race. It was exciting. There was a lot of things going on the track, a lot of cautions, unfortunately, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, fantastic finish there. Once you got out front, we know you kind of pulled away, but backing up here a little bit, kind of a big story of your night was the pit strategy and the tires, and the decisions to stay out on the old tires. So what was, how was it? Track position versus tires out there? Did you make the right call staying out sometimes? 15 laps on those tires, we weren't sure on some of those if guys should come in or not. So tell us a little bit about trying to pass out there on the old tires and the track position, the tires, and what your thought was tonight there as far as that went, your strategy versus what you adjusted to in the race.
Yeah, I would say my strategy wasn't like the best. I honestly was going with a lot more conservative strategy, which was actually try to keep me out of front as much as possible because I did not want to go in that pack. Obviously, we saw a lot of crashes and incidents back there, so I racing for the points. I just wanted to stay out front. It may not have been the race winning move there, but I felt like it was gonna lock me in for a top 5 at moments and just keep out of the traffic. Also lead laps. I think I ended up leading most laps. So yeah, it was just kind of a weird race. My strategy wasn't really, the first half of the race I was actually not trying to win the race. I was just trying to keep my car clean and lead the most laps and stay out front and not get any damage. And then second half, then I went for it. When Mikey Neal got hurt, when he got in his trouble there, I kind of got a little more aggressive because I felt like the points was in my favor at that point. So I just kind of went for it a little bit more at the end. But yeah, it's super hard to pass, obviously. I mean, even if you had 10, maybe 8 or 10 lap tires older than someone else, it's still super hard to make that pass off. So.
Well, congratulations and I'm finding this hard to believe, but I'm showing this is only your second Infinity win. And I could have sworn that you won a whole lot more than that. I know you're in the top 3 almost every night. I recall a win at Pocono, but yeah, congratulations on another win. Correct me if it's more than 2, but that's what I'm showing here.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I'm up there a lot, just don't win. These things are hard to win, so these guys are really good.
Yeah, you guys got a tough crew here, man. There is a group of drivers here that just incredibly competitive, get better week after week. So yeah, hats off to you. Congratulations. I'm sure you got. I know you got your wife, your dad, and a couple other people sponsors to thank. So we'll pass the mic to you and let you handle it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Global Building Contractors, Irish and Drivers Row, Leo's Coney's Island, Lake Erie Entertainment for all they do sponsoring. Big shout out to Justin and Dan for their admin work, running the league. Shout out to you guys at Virtual Racing Network for doing great broadcasts all the time. Shout out to my dad and shout out to my wife who's hopefully watching this right now. We'll see.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jameer, and we'll take it back to James Morgan. James Morgan, can you hear us now, or can we hear you?
Yeah, Tim, I can hear you. You got me?
Yeah, we got you now, James. So we'll go back there a little bit. Was congratulating you on a fantastic run tonight. Third place finish. Just kind of first things first. Just kind of walk us through the race as it played out for you. As you saw it. Walk us through your night, if you would.
Yeah, it was pretty eventful, pretty up and down overall. I think the plan mostly was just to try, if there was cautions, to try and get tires as often as possible. It kind of hurt me a little bit because I pitted and I thought everyone would come behind me, but they didn't early, so I lost a lot of track position there on the first 2 sets of green flag or 2 first sets of caution pit stops, and that kind of hurt a little bit. I lost a lot of time there as well. Whenever there was a spin on a restart, and I was actually behind all of them, and I had to like almost stop, and there was never a caution that came out there, so I had to make time up there. But I mean, overall, it was a good night. Able to rebound with the cautions and get up through the field. The big move there was the next to last pit stop. I took 2 tires, and that took me from like 10th to about 4th or 5th, and I was just able to hang on from there. I knew if I get up in the top 5, I felt like I could definitely finish in the top 5 as long as I was able to stay up there and not restart on the bottom or get stuck on the bottom. But overall, it was a good night, and congrats to everyone. It was a really good race overall. I have fun racing.
Yeah, well, it was a good night for you. There was some tire strategy calls there that were made. Just real quick, I think you hit on that. We heard Jameer saying that he was looking to stay out front and stay out of the pack, whereas you kind of had the opposite strategy. You wanted fresh tires every time. Did your strategy change as the race went on? What you thought you had coming in, tires versus track position versus what you ended up doing as the race went on?
Yeah, it changed there on the first 2 cautions. I pitted just on the second one. It was just to get fresh tires and try and hope another quick caution would come out and I'd stay out. But then that happened on that restart. But yeah, I did end up switching to more stay out and go with 2 tires because I thought for sure I'd go 4 tires every single time. But other people kind of forced my hand a little bit with other people staying out a lot, and it's just so difficult to pass here at Kansas. You could have, like Jameer was saying, 4 or 5 fresher lap tires, and you couldn't get by them. You just had to force your nose to the outside and hope that they'd seen you there on a lot of occasions.
Well, 3rd place with this crew, that is a commendable finish. Such a tough crew. So anytime you get a podium finish with these guys, it's a heck of a night. So congratulations on that finish, James. I'm sure you got some shout outs to give sponsors, family, friends, things like that. So have at it, man. The mic's yours.
Yeah, I want to thank Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, the Oconee Island, and shout out to Parker Kligerman, who will have Global Building Contractors on his truck this weekend. I also think RACECORE will have a sticker on that car as well. I believe that's what Justin was saying too, so that's pretty neat there that Global Building Contractors is doing that as well, so that's awesome to see. So big shout out to them, and what Justin does for this league too is awesome. Absolutely great league here. A lot of good drivers here. It makes you work week in and week out. That's for sure to get better.
All right, man. Justin did say there would be a RACECORE sticker on that truck, so we are all looking forward to that. And Charles, we'll pass it back to you to wrap this thing up.
All right. Well, again, congrats to all 3 drivers here and finishing the top 3, and of course every driver that made it out here to tonight's race, and of course all the fans out there for tuning in here tonight. As we saw them, I'd say there, make sure you subscribe and like the channel. Make sure you hit that little bell, and of course hit the thumbs up if you like tonight's race. But before we sign off here for tonight, we want to thank all of our sponsors, as they said here for the race. There is Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills, iRacing Drivers World, and the presenting sponsor here for tonight's race, that is Global Building Contractors. So we'll be looking to see them on the truck, and of course on the RACECORE logo on that truck as well. On the broadcast side of things, this broadcast wouldn't be possible without the following partners: Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, iBog, and of course Randy's Wraps for coming on board for this year for 2018. That being said, it is time to call it a night. We once again thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you. Actually, tomorrow night is Monday. We are off tomorrow night, so first time in a long time we have been off, but we'll be back in probably about 2 or 3 weeks with the Northwest Racing Series. Getting tentative on Monday night, so we'll see how that all plays out. Until then, have a safe rest of your night, and we'll see you at the next race, which will be Tuesday with the RACECORE Truck Series.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be used in any form without the authorized written consent of Virtual Racing Network. VRN would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.